So, Julianna Pena is rumored to return October 7th, UFC, October 5th, UFC 307 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Is anyone really excited for this? I mean, this is coming from Julianna Pena, one of her biggest fans. Honestly, I could care less at this point. Like, I've waited so long for her return to the point where I couldn't care anymore, you know? And it's not even that she took so long to come back. I mean, honestly, this is kind of the same case that happened with Rose for me, where I was like waiting so long for Rose to come back and I just stopped caring. Then when she had a fight booked, well, I was kind of excited, but I felt so indifferent about the outcome of the fight just because of how long she's been gone. I don't know, my interest in Rose even kind of dipped a little bit too, you know? Same thing with Pena. I just think it's a big part of that is her entitlement, her refusal to fight anyone other than for a title. You know? Rose was a different case, but even still, it's just like Julianna Pena could have came back a long time ago. She could have came back at the end of 2022, fair play, took damage against Nunes, should take some time off till early 2023, right? Oh, but any fight they would offer her in the first quarter of 2023, she declined. And then, okay, she was booked for a fight in the summer 23, but pulled out. That was a title fight trilogy against Amanda Nunes. But it's just like, what is there to look forward to? Like, she could have already came back, and she didn't. It's like, whatever. I already said a few days ago, I'm so over the return of Julianna Pena. I mean, I hope her comeback goes well. I reckon it will probably be for the title against Raquel Pennington. Just because Raquel, this is around the time she said that she wanted to come back. She said that she wanted to come back around October, November, so they're probably going to book Pennington versus Pena, UFC 307, Salt Lake City, Utah. Man, I was going to say that this could potentially favor Julianna Pena because her cardio is so good, and maybe Raquel Pennington will gas out. But then I just remembered Raquel Pennington trains and resides in Denver, Colorado. So she's not gassing out. I don't think the altitude, the lack of sea level is going to affect Raquel. But I think Washington is slightly above sea level. Am I wrong? So, I mean, that could be at altitude. So I think Pena should probably start training at Washington again. Get the hell out of Illinois so that she can prepare for the altitude in Salt Lake City so she doesn't gas, because Julianna Pena's cardio, say what you want about her skill set and how terrible she is, her cardio is one of her biggest weapons apart from her toughness and her ground game. She's got an insane gas tank. She doesn't get tired, and usually her opponents tire out before she does. But I don't know if this is going to be a factor against Raquel at sea level or at altitude, just because Raquel trains at altitude, so it's probably not going to affect her. If Pena starts training full-time in Washington, then she's probably chilling. But if it's not for the title, if say Raquel is adamant that it's November or bust, and Pena's coming back in October, and it's not going to be against the champ, what if they're going to do Kayla Harrison versus Raquel Pennington in November, and Julianna Pena actually fights a contender? But what contender would she fight? I'm thinking Irene Aldana. I mean, she already declined her before, so I doubt it. And Aldana will probably fight again at UFC 306 in the Sphere, Mexican Independence Day. She didn't fight on Mexican Independence Day last year. I think this year she might want a chance to fight on there, considering she also missed UFC Mexico this year. There's a potential fight with Holly Holm, Ketlin Vieira. There's options for Julianna Pena in these rankings, but it'll probably be for the title, most likely, against Raquel Pennington. I don't know why the UFC keeps going back to... back to Salt Lake City, Utah. Like, the fighters have had so many issues there. Like, it was a disaster at UFC 278, you know, with how many fighters who usually don't get tired got tired. And then UFC, I think it was UFC 291, same deal. Jan Blachowicz, who doesn't really gas like that, was gassing out of his mind against Alex Pereira. A lot of fighters on that card were fading, getting tired. So I think the UFC should just abandon Salt Lake City altogether. Like, stop going back to Salt Lake City, Utah. Enough is enough. But whatever. We'll see what happens. I'm just glad Pena's finally coming back. I just kind of don't care. Hopefully she wins, though. Hopefully she doesn't go on a losing streak. But let me know what you guys think in the comments.